Listen up, guys. If she says these 10 things to you, it's time to walk away. No second thoughts. Don't waste another minute. If you want to keep your self-respect intact, you need to understand something crucial. Her words, no matter how sweet or convincing, can reveal more than you think, but most men, they ignore the red flags because they're afraid of losing her, or they think they can change things. Here's the bitter truth. You can't change someone who doesn't want to be changed. If she's saying these things, it's a clear sign that she's showing you who she is. And here's a hard pill to swallow. If you stay, you're allowing yourself to be disrespected. This isn't just about feelings. This is about control, power, and the art of maintaining your worth. Stoicism teaches us that we control only one thing in this world, ourselves. Your emotions, they're your responsibility. Your happiness, your responsibility. So when a woman says something that goes against your value or makes you feel less than what you are, remember, don't tolerate it. Walk away. Why? Because when a woman speaks these words, she's testing you. She's seeing if you'll fold under pressure. The true mark of a man isn't how much he tolerates, but how much he respects himself and what he's willing to walk away from. And don't even think about using her behavior as a way to validate your self-worth. You should never measure your value by her approval. It's time for men to stop being passive in relationships. If she's throwing out these lines, you need to understand that it's a signal to protect your peace and walk away with your head held high. In this video, we're going to explore the top 10 things she might say that should make you run for the hills. Trust me, your future self will thank you for taking action. Now let's dive. I don't need you in 1. I don't need you. When a woman says, I don't need you, it's a red flag. This statement is not about independence or strength, but rather a lack of respect for you and what you bring to the relationship. It implies she views you as expendable and unimportant. If a woman truly values you, she'll never make you feel like you're a secondary option in her life. Respect is the foundation of any strong relationship. And when she says something like this, she's not showing you the respect you deserve as a man. You have to understand that your worth should not be determined by how she sees you at any given moment. You are not here to fill a void for someone who doesn't appreciate your presence. If a woman constantly tells you that she doesn't need you, it's time to recognize the imbalance and walk away. This is not a partnership. It's an unhealthy dynamic that leaves you emotionally drained. Think about it. If she's telling you she doesn't need you, that means she's not recognizing the value you add. If it's one thing to say that in a casual conversation, but if it's repeated, it's a signal that you're not respected. You deserve a woman who will uplift you and acknowledge your role in the relationship. Consider a time when you've given your all, only to be told you're not needed. It stings, doesn't it? This should be your wake-up call. You should never beg for respect, and certainly not from someone who undermines you. When she says this, it's time to step back. You can't fix her mindset, and you shouldn't try to stop trying to prove your worth to someone who doesn't see it. Walking away will make her realize exactly what she's losing. But remember, the most important thing is that you respect yourself enough to leave a situation where you're undervalued, recognize your own worth, and don't waste time on someone who doesn't recognize it. You deserve You're too sensitive better too. You're too sensitive. When a woman says you're too sensitive, she's dismissing your feelings. This statement is not just an observation, it's an attack on your emotional state. It minimizes what you're going through and disregards your emotional experience. She's essentially telling you that your feelings don't matter, that your emotions are invalid, and that you should man up or get over it. But this is a dangerous mindset to adopt in any relationship. No matter how tough you may seem on the outside, you're human. Men feel emotions too. They get hurt, they feel pain, and they need to express themselves just like anyone else. When she invalidates your emotions with a phrase like, you're too sensitive, she's creating an unhealthy dynamic where your feelings don't count and your emotional needs are ignored in a healthy relationship. Both partners should feel safe to express themselves. If a woman is truly invested in you, she'll respect how you feel and engage with you in a way that shows empathy. Telling you that you're too sensitive is an emotional shutdown. She's not engaging with your emotions, she's rejecting them. This is a subtle form of manipulation. Instead of listening and trying to understand, she's belittling you. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of making her happy or keeping the peace. But it's important to realize that your feelings matter. You should never let someone dismiss your emotions just because it's inconvenient for them. If this is a repeated pattern, it's time to recognize it for what it is. Emotional abuse. She's not supporting you. She's diminishing your emotional expression. This is something that will only grow worse over time. Think about how you would want someone to treat you. When you're vulnerable, you deserve a partner who listens, who cares about what you're feeling, and who doesn't just brush it off as being too sensitive. If she's doing the opposite, it's time to step away. You deserve someone who takes you seriously and someone who doesn't undermine your emotions. Recognize the value of your feelings and don't let anyone convince you that you're too sensitive for simply expressing "I'm not ready for a relationship." Them three. I'm not ready for a relationship. When a woman tells you I'm not ready for a relationship, it's often code for something else. It's a statement designed to keep you hanging on, playing on your emotions and allowing her to control the situation. It's one of those phrases that sounds harmless at first, but in reality, it's a sign that she's not being honest with you. The truth is, if she really wanted to be with you, she'd make it happen. No matter what her timing is, people in relationships know that timing isn't always perfect. But if there's a strong connection and mutual respect, it doesn't stop two people from taking the next step together. When she says she's not ready, what she's really saying is that she's not ready for you. She may enjoy your company, she may appreciate your attention, but she's not willing to commit fully. This is where things get tricky. It's easy to convince yourself that her not being ready means she just needs more time, but in many cases it's simply an excuse to keep you around without giving you what you really deserve. Commitment at the core of this statement is a lack of genuine intention. She may be keeping her options open or playing the field. It's a common tactic used when someone doesn't want to fully invest but still wants to enjoy the benefits of your attention. This is emotionally draining and manipulative. If she's truly interested in you, her readiness to commit wouldn't be an issue. She would want to build something with you, not leave you in limbo while she figures things out. It's crucial to recognize when someone is playing games with you. They'll keep giving you just enough to stay interested, but will never give you a clear answer or commitment. And guess what you deserve? Clarity. You deserve someone who knows what they want and who's willing to put in the effort to build a solid foundation with you. When you hear this line, take a step back. Don't waste your time waiting for someone to be ready while they waste yours. If she's not ready now, she might never be. And that's something you need to accept. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that with more patience, more effort, or more time, things will change. If she's not ready, it's her loss, not yours. You deserve someone who's ready for you, right? You should be happy now. You should be happy. I'm with you when she says, you should be happy. I'm with you. It's a major red flag. This isn't a healthy way to communicate, and it's not a statement rooted in respect or love. Instead, it's a form of manipulation. She's turning the tables and putting the onus on you to appreciate her presence, even if she's not contributing positively to the relationship. Let's be real, men. You need to wake up to this tactic. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that just because a woman is with you, you should automatically feel lucky. This kind of mindset is dangerous because it makes you overlook your own worth. It sets up an unhealthy dynamic where you're constantly trying to prove yourself worthy of her attention while she plays the "I'm doing you a favor" card. You're in a relationship, not begging for her scraps. Here's the truth. Relationships should be built on mutual respect and care. You're both contributing, and it should never feel like you're just lucky to have her in your life. If she's trying to make you feel guilty for not constantly praising her, that's manipulation. It's a way of controlling your emotions and making you feel inferior. This isn't about love or partnership. It's about her inflating her own ego at the expense of your self-esteem. Now, men, let me be clear. This isn't about disregarding the value of the woman you're with. If she adds something real and positive to your life, acknowledge it. But when she demands gratitude without giving anything of substance in return, you have to recognize that this isn't normal. You should not be in a position where you're constantly walking on eggshells, afraid that you might not be thankful enough for her presence. That's not love, that's control. You need to understand your own worth. This behavior is toxic and manipulative, and it's a sign that you're being used emotionally. A woman who genuinely values you will never try to make you feel small in order to make herself feel important. She will encourage you to be the best version of yourself without trying to dominate or manipulate you. So when you hear this phrase, it's time to take a step back. Don't fall for the manipulation. Recognize that you deserve more than someone who sees themselves as the prize and you as the one who should be grateful for their attention. A true relationship is about balance. And if she's making you feel inferior, it's time to walk away and find someone who respects you for who you truly. Why are you so emotional? Music. 5. Why are you so emotional? When she asks, why are you so emotional? She's belittling you. This phrase is often used to undermine your feelings and make you feel weak or overreacting. When you're simply expressing yourself, it's not a sign of concern, or is it a healthy way to communicate? Instead, it's a dismissive tactic to shut you down and make you question the validity of your emotions. Men, this is where you need to wake up. There's a toxic conception in society that men should suppress their emotions and never show vulnerability. This idea is not only harmful, it's completely false. Emotions are a natural part of being human, and expressing them in a healthy way is essential for your well-being. But when a woman responds to your emotions with a phrase like this, she's not supporting your emotional growth. She's minimizing your feelings and trying to control how you react. This kind of behavior is not just about a single moment. It's a sign of a deeper issue in the relationship. If she is consistently belittling your emotions, she's showing a lack of respect for your humanity. Relationships should be places where both partners feel safe to express themselves without judgment. You should never feel like you're being invalidated for simply being human. When she questions your emotions in this way, it's a form of emotional manipulation and control. She's trying to silence you and make you feel small. Let's put this into perspective. Imagine you're going through a tough time at work or dealing with something personal that's causing you stress, and you open up to her about it instead of offering support. She responds with, "Why are you so emotional?" It's not only dismissive, it's insulting. It sends the message that your struggles are unimportant, that your feelings aren't worthy of respect. That's not the behavior of someone who truly cares about you. Men, this is where you need to set boundaries. You have every right to feel and express your emotions. If someone is constantly belittling you for being in touch with your feelings, that's a sign of emotional abuse. It's not okay. No. Healthy relationship is about mutual respect. And if she's making you feel like your emotions are a problem, it's time to step back and re-evaluate what's truly best for your emotional health. So when she says, Why are you so emotional? Remember this, your emotions matter. Don't let anyone, not even someone you care about, make you feel small for expressing them. Stand your ground and don't let anyone belittle you into silence. You deserve someone who values you fully. Emotions and I don't want to change, all six. I don't want to change. When she says I don't want to change, she's refusing growth, and that's a huge red flag. This phrase is more than just a declaration. It's a sign that she's not open to self-improvement or evolving within the relationship. Change doesn't necessarily mean changing who she is, but being open to growth and compromise, especially when it benefits both of you. If she is adamantly against any form of change, it shows that she's stuck in her ways and isn't interested in moving forward either as a person or as part of a partnership. Here's the thing, growth is essential in any relationship. Both partners need to be willing to change, adapt, and learn from each other. If one person refuses to grow or improve, it creates an imbalance. It leaves one person stuck in the past while the other is trying to move forward. This can lead to frustration, resentment, and ultimately a breakdown in the relationship. A healthy relationship isn't about forcing each other to change, but being open to the idea of growth, whether it's emotional, mental, or even how you communicate with each other. If she's saying, I don't want to change, she might be resisting growth in other areas of her life as well. It could be a sign of deeper issues like insecurity or fear of failure. But at the end of the day, relationships require both people to invest in personal growth and mutual understanding. For example, imagine you've been having recurring issues in the relationship like communication problems or unresolved conflicts. You bring it up, expressing a desire to work through these problems and improve the relationship. But she responds with, I don't want to change in this situation. She's essentially saying she's unwilling to put in the effort to address the issues, even though they might be hurting the relationship. It's a refusal to grow together, and that can lead to stagnation or worse, separation. And here's the truth. If she's not willing to change or grow with you, it's time to reconsider the relationship. No one is perfect, and growth is part of being human. If she's unwilling to put in the work to improve herself and the relationship, you'll be stuck in a cycle of frustration. A relationship should be a place where both people help each other become the best version of themselves. If she's not interested in that, it's time to let her go. You deserve someone who is willing to evolve with you, not someone who is content staying. I can't deal with your insecurities. Stuck. 7. I can't deal with your insecurities. When she says, I can't deal with your insecurities, it's not just a comment on your behavior, it's a projection of her own issues. This phrase is a clear sign that she's deflecting her own insecurities onto you instead of acknowledging her own emotional baggage. She's putting the blame on you, making it seem like you're the one with the problem. This is a classic form of manipulation and emotional avoidance. Insecure people often struggle to confront their own vulnerabilities, and it's easier for them to attack others or shift the focus onto someone else. When she says this, she's not necessarily referring to your actions, but to her discomfort with vulnerability, conflict, or any form of emotional intimacy. It's a way for her to avoid dealing with her own inner struggles. And in doing so, she's making you feel guilty for things that might not even be your fault. It's important to understand that everyone has insecurities, but how we deal with them makes all the difference. If she can't handle yours, it's a sign that she hasn't done the necessary work to understand or accept her own instead of addressing the root cause of her own discomfort. She's externalizing it, which can lead to a toxic dynamic. This kind of behavior is emotionally drained, and it's not a foundation for a healthy relationship. Let's be real. Relationships are about supporting each other through challenges, not blaming each other for having vulnerabilities. If someone can't handle your insecurities or dismisses them as a problem, they're not emotionally mature enough to support you. In fact, they may be using your insecurities to deflect from their own weaknesses. She might even make you feel like you're the issue, while avoiding any real introspection or change on her part. For example, if you share something personal with her, perhaps a fear, an insecurity, or something that makes you vulnerable, and her response is, "I can't deal with your insecurities," she's not offering support or empathy. Instead, she's using your vulnerability as a way to avoid addressing her own emotional walls. This response shuts down any hope of meaningful communication, making it harder for you to share. Share your thoughts and feelings in the "you're just like all the others." Future 8, you're just like all the others. When she says you're just like all the others, it's a clear sign that she's not valuing you as an individual. It's a statement that reduces you to a stereotype or a category, stripping away everything that makes you unique instead of seeing you for who you truly are. She's lumping you in with all the men who may have come before you, assuming that you'll behave or treat her in the same way they did. This kind of statement reveals a lack of respect and appreciation for the effort you've made to be different, to stand out, and to show her who you are. At the heart of this statement is a lack of trust and emotional openness. When someone truly values you, they acknowledge your individuality and the effort you put into the relationship. They see you as a separate entity with your own strengths, weaknesses, and experiences. But when she says something like this, she's refusing to see the real you. It's a projection of her past experiences where perhaps she's been hurt or disappointed before, and now she's assuming you'll follow the same pattern. This is not about you, it's about her inability to separate you from her past. When you hear this, it's easy to feel disrespected and hurt. You may have been doing everything right, trying to show her that you're not like everyone else, but her comment indicates that she's not recognizing or appreciating your efforts. It's an emotional brick wall that makes it harder for you to connect with her and makes you question if your time and energy are being wasted at the core. This statement shows that she's not valuing you as a partner or an individual. She may have unresolved issues from past relationships that prevent her from fully engaging with you in a meaningful way. If she's unwilling to give you the benefit of the doubt and see you as someone who can bring something different into her life. It's a serious red flag. Men, don't let someone reduce you to a mere comparison of their past experiences. You are not just another guy. If she can't see you for who you are, then it's time to walk away. Relationships should be built on mutual respect and understanding. If she's not willing to value you, there's no real foundation to build upon. You deserve someone who appreciates you for the unique person you are. And if she can't do that, it's time to move. I don't have time for this on 9. I don't have time for this. When she says, "I don't have time for this," it's one of the most frustrating things you can hear, especially if you've been giving your all in the relationship. But let's be honest, guys, this is a red flag. What she's really doing is making an excuse to avoid dealing with the relationship or with you in the way you deserve. Think about it. Everyone has time for what they care about. If she's telling you she doesn't have time for you, it's because she's either not prioritizing you or she's simply not that invested. Here's the kicker. It's not just about the time, it's about the value she places on you and the relationship. When someone truly cares about something, they make the time for it. They'll rearrange their schedule, compromise, and show up. But if she's constantly saying she's too busy, it's a clear sign that she's either avoiding the relationship or making excuses to pull away. Men, don't let this slide. You shouldn't be chasing someone who isn't willing to make time for you. And let's face it, too many of you men tolerate this behavior because you think you can somehow earn her time or attention. It's time to wake up. If she's constantly pushing you aside with excuses, she's teaching you that your value is secondary to whatever else she's dealing with. She's telling you that you're not worth the time or effort. That's a brutal truth, but it's one that needs to be faced. It's also time to hold yourself accountable. Too many men compromise their self-worth by hanging around, waiting for a woman to decide their worth. Her time, stop begging for attention, stop rationalizing that it's a temporary phase or that things will get better once you're more understanding. If she's genuinely interested, she will make time. If she's not, it's not a reflection of your value, but hers. So when she says she doesn't have time for you, recognize it for what it is, a clear sign that you're not a priority. Don't wait around for her to change. You deserve someone who is willing to invest the time and energy into building something real. Keep your standards high, and if she can't meet them, walk away. It's a hard truth, but you're doing yourself a disservice by sticking around for someone who doesn't even make time for you. Time is precious, so spend it. You should be more like him. Wisely 10, you should be more like him. When she says you should be more like him, she's crossing a dangerous line. This comment isn't just a casual suggestion. It's a subtle way of telling you that you're not measuring up to some idealized version of what she wants. And guys, let's be clear, this is a direct attack on your self-worth. It's not just about not living up to her expectations. It's about her making you feel inferior to someone else, even though you've put your time, effort, and emotions into the relationship. Here's the thing, man, you should never tolerate being compared to another man. It's toxic. It's a manipulation tactic that plays on your insecurities and forces you to feel like you're competing for her approval. Why does it matter what he does or who he is? You are your own person, and the comparison game only sets you up for failure. If she's constantly comparing you to someone else, it's a reflection of her lack of appreciation for who you are and what you bring to the table. And let's call it what it is. She's using this comparison as a subtle form of control. She wants you to change based on someone else's actions, opinions, or qualities that are trying to shape you into someone you're not. And that's dangerous. You're not her project. You're not her fixer-upper. You're a grown man and you deserve to be loved for who you are. Flaws and all men, stop internalizing these comments as constructive criticism. It's a form of emotional manipulation. She's telling you that you're not enough. And then to make it worse, she offers up someone else as a model of perfection that you should strive to be. Like, this is not love, this is disrespect. And if you continue to accept these comparisons, you're teaching her that you're okay with being diminished. You need to recognize your worth and set boundaries. If she's telling you to be more like another guy, it's time to walk away. You're not a clone, and you don't need to morph into someone else to earn her respect or affection. She needs to appreciate you for who you are, and if she can't do that, then you don't need her in your life. So take a step back, reevaluate the relationship, and ask yourself, is this really the kind of person you want to be with? Don't be a puppet, and don't try to fit into someone else's mold. You are unique, and that's what makes you valuable. Don't let anyone convince you. Conclusion, otherwise, here's the truth. And it's going to hit hard if she's making you feel like you're not enough or constantly comparing you to someone else. She's not the one for you. You're not her project to fix, and you certainly don't have to change for her approval. Stop wasting your time trying to be someone else's idea of perfect. The right woman will love you for who you are, not for who she wants you to become. Men, it's time to wake up. You're the prize, not her. If she's not treating you with the respect and appreciation you deserve, let her go. It's that simple. Don't fall into the trap of thinking you need to change to be worthy of love. If she doesn't see your value, she's not worth your energy. There are plenty of women out there who will, but only when you start respecting yourself. First, drop a comment below with your experiences. I want to hear how you've handled situations like this, and I'll personally reach out to connect with you together. We can build a strong mindset and remind ourselves what real respect and love should look like.